Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I wanted to make an all carnation arrangement. This is not something that I do very often because we here at Flowers by the Bunch don't carry carnations very often. But we got in the most beautiful variety that I am so in love with, and I thought we would make an all carnation design using a piece of milk glass that I have at home. So one of my favorite things to collect when I'm out shopping at antique stores or thrift stores or any of the things is milk glass. It's fairly inexpensive and it comes in all shapes and sizes. This is just kind of a I don't even know how to tell you what this chunky container is. It's kind of a square container. I have filled it with fresh water, and I thought what I would do, instead of using fresh floral foam, because flowers just don't last as well in fresh floral foam, I thought we would make an armature with chicken wire. So I'm going to take my chicken wire and I'm really just going to roll it almost in just a little roll, and it doesn't want to hold, but we'll take it and work it right down into my container. Now honestly, I really could have cut this smaller. It doesn't have to be this large, but you're just going to kind of wad it up and press it down into your container. Now this chicken wire is actually like a floral mesh, and I purchased it from a company called LO Florist Supply. It is coated with almost kind of a green paint, I think, so that it does not, it will not rust. And so I just took that and I wadded it up and I pressed it down into my water just like that. Now what I'm gonna do is, I would normally tape it, but I just got it really wet. So let me grab some paper towels and dry my container where I got it wet, because my waterproof tape is not going to stick. Give me just a second. So I just got some paper towels. Now you always have to be careful, because if you get this container wet, your tape will not stick. And to hold that chicken wire into place, I like to just run a couple of pieces of tape over the edge to make sure it's going to stay in place. Okay, so this is just a green waterproof tape. I'm just taping it on the edge, and then I am coming all the way across. Now I do realize you can see that green tape. I'm going to cover it with some greenery. Now if you have a clear tape is always wonderful. Use clear tape if you have it. Okay, so I've just taped my chicken wire right down into the container. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to start with our carnations. Let me show you an easy and quick way to open up a bloom of a carnation. So these actually just arrived today. So they are as fresh as we can get them from the farm. I'm taking them, I'm going to just make a circle with my fingers, just my thumb and my forefinger. I'm going to lay that carnation right in my fingers. I'm not holding it tight, and then I'm going to begin to brush that carnation. That's just opening up that bloom. Now you can do this only with carnations. Don't do it with any other type of flower. If you do it with any other type, you're going to bruise those petals. But just take your carnation, kind of set it right in between those fingers, very gently brush those petals to open them up. Now you don't want to hold your carnation like this and then brush. It has little bracts. As it grows, the little stem grows in kind of little bracts. Well, it's pretty crisp, and so they'll pop off very easily. Like you'll pop his head really easily off the stem. So that's why you want to kind of hold that flower right in your hand, just like that, and then brush it. And I'm going to do that with all of these carnations. Now this variety is called Hypnosis, and it is so beautiful. If you'll look at it close, it's a purple bloom, and then it has hot pink right down in the center. It is just one of the prettiest carnations that I have ever seen. I love different carnations. I like the antique varieties that kind of give you an antique-y look. And this is such a gorgeous carnation. There is a purple series of carnations that's called the Moon series, and they come in different shades of purple. And I'll be honest, I am not a huge purple fan. I mean, I like purple okay, but I would never say that it is close to my favorite. And purple carnations would have to be my favorite. My favorite variety of carnation, that is. All right, so I've just taken all those blooms and I've just brushed those petals just to open them right up. Again, do not do this with any other variety of flowers, only a carnation. Only a carnation. And I think it's interesting that a carnation's petals don't bruise. I mean, they can, of course, but they're not like roses or lilies or any other type of flower. They just don't damage like other flowers do. And they are such a long-lasting bloom. And that really makes me happy too. Okay, so I've opened my blooms. I'm going to take my floral knife. This is just a paring knife I picked up on Amazon. And I love that it folds. I'm going to take my carnations and I am cutting them at an angle. And I am just putting them right into the grid. This chicken wire grid in my container. Make sure you push it down low enough that it hits that water. But you can see my grid is holding these carnations just as if I put them in fresh floral foam. It's just holding them right at the angle that I placed them into the container. Now you will find if you will use an armature versus fresh floral foam that your flowers will last so much longer for you. They just don't last nearly as long in floral foam as they do in fresh water. They're just so much happier in water. So I'm just taking my carnations and tucking those right into that grid. And again, I am using all one type of bloom. You can absolutely make an arrangement using multiple types of blooms if you want to. I just thought that it would be fun to use all the same type and see how pretty this arrangement turned out. And you can see I'm kind of putting them at different heights and different levels in my arrangement. Some of them are shorter and tucked deeper into the container while others are longer. The nice part about using fresh water too, when you're making an arrangement, is often you will look at the water line when you have fresh water and you think about watering your flowers versus if you use fresh floral foam, you forget to water your flowers. I think that makes a difference for sure. So important to water your flowers, and you want to water them pretty much every other day at least. Change that water if you can. With this arrangement, it's a little harder to change the water, but what I would suggest is to set this container right over into your sink and just run fresh water right into the reservoir until it kind of overflows, and then dry it off and tuck it back on your table. That way those fresh flowers have plenty of water. As your flowers begin to fade, you want to pull those out, especially if you have different varieties of flowers. As your flowers begin to fade, just pull out the blooms that are faded and rearrange your flowers a little bit, and you will be able to enjoy your flowers for longer. I am not sure if I have ever received these types of carnations in our shop before, but I am going to put it on the list of one of my favorite varieties. They are beautiful. So pretty. Now you can see how I'm kind of cutting some stems shorter and nestling those really deep down into that container. What I want to do is try to cover that armature so you don't see it. So I'm cutting my stems fairly short and tucking them really deep down into the arrangement. Grab a few more blooms over here. Again, I'm just taking that carnation, holding him in my hand, and brushing those petals. Oh, it's so pretty. And I love the contrast of the purple with the white. It almost just makes them pop, doesn't it? You can do an arrangement like this with any type of flower. It does not have to be a carnation. You could use roses, you could use lilies, you could use really anything. I could even see a beautiful container of zinnias in the summertime cut out of your yard. But just take the same variety of flowers and tuck them all into one arrangement, and it really makes such a statement. It's really such a beautiful statement piece using just one variety of flowers. Okay, so there's our carnations all the way around. To finish this arrangement, I'm going to add just a little bit of Parvifolia eucalyptus. I love eucalyptus, and I think it's pretty in all its varieties. I'm going to take just a pair of snips, and I'm going to cut my eucalyptus in smaller pieces and just nestle it right down amongst the blooms. Now, if you don't have eucalyptus at home, or you haven't picked any up from your local store, you can absolutely go and pick something that you have in your yard. It doesn't have to be eucalyptus. I could even see really pretty Nandina cut out of your yard. But just any type of greenery that holds up well, you could certainly tuck right into your arrangement. And you can see I'm just taking this eucalyptus and cutting it into smaller pieces and just tucking it right down into that armature. And you can see how my flowers are staying in place very well. I'm not having any issues with that armature holding that flower arrangement in place. I really like this this rectangle container too. It's such a nice and different container. Anytime I'm ever out thrifting or going to estate sales or yard sales, I am always on the lookout for a fun container. They just make me happy with pretty arrangements in them. And to know that my flowers are going to last that much longer using an armature makes me happy too. It's always important that we try to get our flowers to last as long as possible, right? And so just the fact that I'm putting these flowers in fresh water and not into floral foam is going to make them last so much longer. All right, there is our beautiful, extremely simple carnation design. Again, this carnation is called an hypnosis. Again, this carnation is called Hypnosis, and it's such a beautiful purple color, and it makes me so happy. Guys, thank you for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, please let me know. You can drop a question right down in the comments or send it to us over on our email, and we are so happy to answer any questions you might have. Do me a great big favor. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a heart and be sure to hit that follow button right down below. Subscribe to our channel and hit that bell, and you will get notifications for when we have a brand new video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.